First of all, thank you. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea who would show up, if anybody would show up, if anybody would care. So it really does mean an awful lot to me, and I can't even tell you how much it means that people actually are here. So thank you. There are so many other things you could be doing with your life this evening, and basically the fact that you're here tells me that you care about Newton. I also want to thank the folks here at Panera for supplying the room. This is a wonderful addition to Newton Center. You know, we all talk about revitalizing the neighborhoods and all that, and I actually think this is a terrific example of the type of thing we can do if we look forward, work with the city and business together, and have this sort of thing come across in all the different neighborhoods. So very happy that they are here. I will be brief, although now it's probably too late to be brief. But I am, for those of you who don't know, a third-generation Newton resident. My grandparents bought a house on Fuller Street back in the early 50s. I was brought up in Newton Highlands. I went basically countryside, Meadowbrook, which is now Brown, and south. It was just an absolutely awesome education. Newton, you know, we talk an awful lot about how important education is to this city, and the reality is that my education in the Newton school system literally prepared me for life. So when we talk about what's meaningful to Newton, you know, what really matters in the sociology of Newton, it is our school system. People come here for that, people stay here for that, and people raise their families directly because of the school system. This is what the Newton school system meant to me. I was the AV geek. When the teachers didn't know how to run the projectors, they would pull me out of class and go, well, Charlie will take care of that. He'll figure it out. So all the teachers knew to get to me, and I would be able to help them do things. I had a teacher by the name of Mrs. Hansberry, Dorothy Hansberry. I will always call her Mrs. Hansberry, obviously. She was my high school English teacher. I think she was probably personally responsible for helping me get through high school. Not only did she teach English, she taught a little bit about life. And I know this can sound cheesy sometimes, but what she taught me was not just the skills that I used in my professional life, which was radio and television and news writing and being able to articulate things. She taught me about people. And the way that she did that, Mrs. Hansberry's daughter had a leg missing, amputated. But she became a competitive skier with one leg. And I remember being a high school kid going, this is unbelievable. Talk about challenges. You know, I'm thinking I had a bad day. This woman had one leg and became a competitive skier. And the sensitivity, the way that she talked about that, and the way that she taught us that no matter what your differences are, no matter what your challenges are, you can do it. You can actually make things happen. And in politics, in government, I really believe it's the same way. And those lessons have stuck with me. And so when I got into office, my goal was to actually do something. You know, some people, they go to the meetings maybe, and they do a thing every now. My goal was, I didn't know if it would last 2 years or more, hopefully more with your help. But I wanted to do something so that later on I could look back and go, I used every minute wisely, I tried my best, I actually accomplished some things. The first thing I did was I thought that in a technology city like Newton, our website, the City of Newton website, was not where it should be. So therefore we fixed it. So between the time of the election and the time that I was sworn into office, literally about, I don't know, a couple of months, the City of Newton had a new aldermanic website. 50,000 people a month go to the City of Newton's website. Business is done there. It was terrible. I'd like to think it's a little bit better now. People can get the information they want. You can get it on demand. And Newton, I think, is a better place because we talk about transparency. When you can go to newtonma.gov and find what you want right now, that's meaningful. And I'm very proud of that. You know, Ron mentioned the Silver Alert. Briefly, the Silver Alert is essentially an Amber Alert, but for seniors that may have Alzheimer's or dementia of some type, so if they wander away, which is a tragic, stressful situation, if they wander away, we can find them faster and bring them home safely. I found this program in Florida, but my thought when I was in Florida and I heard about this program was, half the folks in Florida are from here, how come we don't have it here and they have it in Florida? So my thought was, let's bring it here. So went to the Public Safety Committee. We got unanimous approval to put this through the Board of Aldermen, and I am so proud of this because not only will it keep people safer here in Newton, the governor, thank goodness, loved the idea, came to the city of Newton, signed a statewide version of this bill, and now, based on the Newton model that we put in, they're rolling it out across the Commonwealth. We do have some challenges, clearly. I'll tell you, I'm not thrilled that the AP classes, the Latin, the cutback in art, all of those things on the educational side, these are not good things. I don't want to see the city's education system chipped away, sort of chunk by chunk every year. We've got to get our capital improvement plan into place. There are several new aldermen. There are people like me who, I guess I should be more politically correct, but if I see it, I'm going to call it that way, and I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. But there are some things that need to be done differently. You know, Brian is forward-thinking. There are a bunch of folks that are forward-thinking on the board, Mitch and Carl. I mean, the folks that are here, frankly, are the forward-thinking people, or they wouldn't be here. So, so I really appreciate, you know, my colleagues that also will call it what it is and aren't afraid to say, just because we've done it that way, you know, we can do something different. So, you know, let me just kind of wrap up and basically say, at the core of my being, I believe that government is essentially here to make our lives easier, to deliver services. For example, you want to add a mudroom onto your house, you're allowed to do it. Why are we forcing you to spend 20 grand on a special permit process? We should make it a little bit easier. As long as you're not encroaching on your neighbors, it's your house, we should make it as easy as possible given the structure of the neighborhood and the context of the neighborhood. Bringing new business into the city, whether it's this, whether it's Riverside, Chestnut Hill. We've got to do this carefully so that we don't overstress the infrastructure, the schools and all of that, but we've got to be warm, welcoming, make sure we're being inclusive, make sure we're bringing affordable housing in, so people like us, I mean, we lived in Natick for about 4 or 5 years to save up the money to come back, bought an entry-level house, added on to it, and I want other people to be able to experience what I experienced. You know, you shouldn't have to go through this whole rigmarole just to add a little thing here and there. So I'm trying to make it easier for business, make it easier for homeowners, with the city being your advocate, not your enemy. So in closing, as you know, not everybody is going to agree. There are differing opinions. You know, I have 120 people that have already publicly endorsed me, from teachers to elected officials, former elected officials. There are people on that list that probably don't invite each other to their homes, but they all want Newton to be a better place. And I am very proud that I can act as a conduit where the left, the center, the right can get together and solve some issues so we can actually move Newton into the place where we all think it can be, which is true excellence. I think it really comes down to one simple statement: helping all generations enjoy a safer, healthier, greener, higher quality of life for everybody. The young, the middle, the not so young, people who want to stay at home, age gracefully. There are all kinds of programs in Newton. This is the place to live, and I want to make sure that we're protecting it for future generations. So that's what I'm offering. That's why I'm serving. Thank you for coming. Please enjoy the food, the beverages, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support, and I look forward to hopefully serving another 2 years as one of your citywide aldermen.